know, let me be me here.
Okay, so
but people a lot try to like, yeah.
Speaking of wrangling chat with this kind of stuff, how do you guys feel about IRL?
I'll let Chip go first.
I'm interested
How
in this.
do you guys feel about IRL? Because we started with creative. Creative opened up all of what has come since then, and you guys were sort of on the forefront. As we were talking about, it's like Chip, like you got in right then, like that was what drew you in the first place. And you guys are obviously inherently creative streamers, and a lot of creative streamers now stream in IRL. What do you guys do, and how do you feel about that situation?
So let me just start off by saying I love IRL. I like going out and seeing people play Pokemon Go or just having fun, and those can be really good streams and awesome content, yada yada. But the fact that there are a lot of people that have because creative is going through things, I guess. Not really. I don't know. It's like a whole thing. It's a touchy subject. I feel like it's very polarizing for a lot of creative streamers. But there are a lot of creative streamers who have gone to IRL because of exposure. It's numbers. That's all it is. It's simple. If you look at IRL,
you're addicted to metrics. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot more people watching IRL than there are the creative section. So that's like, well, I see a huge difference. If I stream in IRL, I get more views. So then I'm going over there. And that's simple.
There has to be a question of quality there. Because
there is.
Yeah, and there's also, that's the thing, the community is completely different. Creative, I feel people are in creative to see creative things, right? They're trying to find it, and so there's a different mentality.
Why else would you be in that? Yeah.
IRL, there's a lot of trolls. There are a lot of people looking to troll. I don't know, how the IRL section is. So there's that aspect. But I mean, it's your stream, do what you want. But I think it's, I don't know. It's hard to say.
So creative streamers are moving to IRL. Are they changing and gearing their content towards the IRL section?
No,
or they're just straight up
doing nothing different.
And they're just labeling it because they were told they could. And this all started last summer when Twitch did some discoverability changes, I believe, and creative streams took a little bit of a nosedive in terms of their numbers. Creative was taken off the front page in terms of like there was a pull down or like it was on the top bar, or there was a discoverability change that people blamed in the creative community, Twitch, for really tanking their numbers. And I understand why people would stream in IRL. But it raised two different things, right? Like, where do we stream to be the most discoverable, and creative's dying. Now, creative's numbers never went below what I've seen them at before, right? Did they go up? Oh, the other thing was that creative lost their dedicated staff on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right? And now that was a big thing. That was not only was that a big
that sounds painful.
It was painful, and the most painful part about it was, and I've given this feedback. I like to say I won't say anything to someone that I wouldn't say to their face. So I've said this to Twitch, so I'll say it to you guys. They really messed it up the way that they did it because they didn't tell us. Like I went from PAX last year where I had me and a bunch of other creatives had like a sit down brunch with a creative partnership staff, and it was great. And we had a great big this. Less than 6 months later, they're all repurposed into different parts of the company. That's fine. I understand that. Like, again, I worked for, gigantic cable company. I understand how corporate America works.
Sometimes you got to shift that around.
Exactly. And it's great. Like, I agree with Monkey that now you have, like with Moss, Monkey on Strike, now you have people who really care deeply.
Spearhead of
yes.
creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who really care deeply about creative in all different parts of the company, now raising the profile of creative in general. I think it's fantastic. He sold that to me, but no one ever sold it to creative. No one ever told creative. Yeah. There's never, still to this day, a year later, been an official announcement.
Yeah, they never told anyone. I had no idea.
Quietly went away. Like, we had to all kind of figure it out. And so it was one of those things that really left a bad taste in people's mouth, understandably. So between that and the number drop, everyone kind of like rang the death knell that creative was dying, and people were looking for different ways to do what they did before. And a lot of people went to IRL doing the same thing. Or like I did this a little bit with Symmetra when I was making my cosplay last year. I would stream one day in the Overwatch category because that's allowed. If Chip
I
was
mean, that
painting
makes
an Overwatch
sense.
Yeah.
painting, he could paint in the Overwatch category. So we do it for 1 day out of 5, and then the other 4 we'd stream in creative as kind of like a, hey, we're here. And I have no problem with that, even with IRL, with anything, right?
You
But
kind
I
of have to. I mean, you got to do what's best for you, right?
Yeah.
exactly. And again, I agree with Twitch. See, now I'm calling him Twitch. I agree with Chip. Live and let live. You do what you want on your channel, but when we all are talking about the community, the creative community, the community is dying, how do we help the community? What's best for the community? What's best for the community, in my opinion, is streaming and creative. Because if you want to sell the fact that there is a creative category on Twitch, no one's going to come in and start looking in IRL, looking creative. And when they see the numbers are low, they're not going to stick around. Can sometimes being in a dip, in a lull, be painful? It can be.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You get together and you say, how do we fix this? If Twitch isn't going to fix it and we care, how do we fix it? Right? Twitch invested in us, and they invested a lot of resources in a really small category. I do not blame them at all for shifting those around.
I mean,
we had like 5 dedicated people for a directory that never hit over 10,000 without Bob Ross.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Like, and we had 5 dedicated people. Come on.
Yep.
Come
well,
on.
that's kind of the
Yeah,
confusing thing, is because like they had the Bob Ross thing. They expanded to like food, right? They did like the 24/7 food channel, and so it's like they had all the support, and now you're saying that the people that were behind that team's gone, and like I don't know the last time they've done a creative like type promotion. It's like, I mean, is Twitch still trying to expand from gaming, or are they kind of honing back in?
Well, IRL, yes, and Rouse, someone in chat had a very good point, which is IRL never has and does not currently have a staff like creative did, right? So no other category really did, and I think that what they did was right. But I look at people like you guys, right? From a gaming perspective, I watch going to PAX East last year as a mostly creative streamer, really opened my eyes, because I watched the work that gaming streamers put in, work that you guys put in during conventions to get in front of gaming companies, to be on panels, to host things, to work, to get your name and your face and your brand in front of new influencer, like people, like to get your channel growth up, so that your community benefits. The amount of work you guys do, and then I'd look at the creative community, and I've said this to them as well, like when we get on this rant, what have you done? Like, what have we done? What have we done with our people? Nothing.
It's a little bit like of a more uphill battle for you guys, though, because at least Twitch has been inherently about gaming.
But we chose this, right? And we had we had a whole staff that helped us for a year and a half. And I mean, if that's not the hand up over the fence to help you out, I don't know what it is.
Much like with so many things on Twitch, a lot of people